Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Game Vortex. I'm Vitali and today we can finally put one big fucking rumor to rest. This has been on the internet for God knows how long. Sony has finally came out and confirmed that PlayStation 4K / Neo, whatever they're gonna call it, is actually real. We can finally stop beating on a dead horse with all those rumors and other shit that's been floating around the internet. So basically Andrew House, in an interview, confirmed the existence of a PlayStation Neo, and basically which is an upgraded version of the PlayStation 4, which is coming out, 3 years after the original PS4 launched. So this is the news article. I mean, it's been reported on Kotaku, Eurogamer, everywhere. So just basically gonna mention a few things before I actually tell you a little bit about it and give you my opinion on it. So the console will be basically like a high-end premium PlayStation product that supports 4K resolutions and enhanced graphics. Now, obviously 4K resolution is mentioning in this article is actually not going to be gaming resolution, it's going to be upscaled. Obviously it's not going to be a native 4K, not for that price, not with that hardware. And obviously content like Netflix and video playing, which surprisingly I think this high-end PS4 does not have the new format of Blu-ray to support the 4K format, which is really bizarre and weird. Anyway, this is probably just done to keep the cost down. So Andrew House said that it will be sold alongside the PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 4, the original one, and Neo will be both selling throughout the whole life cycle of the console. But it's gonna be more expensive than the current version, which is at $350. Now that doesn't mean that it's gonna cost $500 or $600, even though I'm thinking that might cost somewhere around $450, $500. It may as well just cost $400, and it might actually drop PlayStation 4 to maybe $299 or something like that. I think a smart way for them to do this would be to release maybe a slim version of original PlayStation 4, which is cheaper to make, and sell it at, I don't know, $250, maybe like that, and then the Neo at $400. Anyway, what Andrew House said to the Financial Times, basically, what he said in this article is, it is intended to sit alongside and complement the standard PS4. He said, quote, "We will be selling both versions through the life cycle." Also mentioned that it's not going to be shown off at E3, and I don't know why everybody were thinking that they're going to show off the PlayStation 4 Neo at E3. Yes, it's a big show, but a lot of leaks and sources already indicated that it's going to be shown off at the Tokyo Game Show. Because Sony right now has to focus on PlayStation VR and try to sell that to the people. And I think that if they come out on the stage and start talking about PlayStation 4 Neo, whatever the hell it's going to be close, it's going to be called basically, I don't know, maybe PlayStation Plus, PlayStation 4K, PlayStation Premium, whatever it's going to be called. I mean, they can't talk about all that all in one press conference. They need to talk about PlayStation 4, about the games, about the new games, the coming games, free-to-play shit, and maybe some Vita talk, which I highly doubt. PlayStation VR, maybe something to do with platforms and movies with the View and stuff. So, and I think that if they throw in this thing on E3, people will be like, when they're looking at the trailer of, let's say, maybe a God of War is coming, right? It's like, what is this game running on? Is it running on the original PS4 or is it running on Neo? And obviously, if this is running on Neo, how the fuck is it gonna look on my PlayStation 4, the original one? He also said that we ensure, why they're not releasing it right now or announcing it next week, is that we're waiting to ensure we have a full range of best experiences on the new system that we can showcase in their entirety. Okay, yes. PS4 games will remain compatible across both platforms, House said, with Sony expecting all or very large majority of games to be optimized for the new PS4. So, the platform holder also expects the hardware to be profitable from launch rather than selling it at a loss. Of course, that's not what they want. So that means you can forget about fucking native 4K. This thing is gonna be just slightly, maybe less than 2 times more powerful than the original PlayStation 4. So what do we think about that in general? What do I actually think about that? Well, I don't think they're gonna launch it this year. I don't think, like, yes, they said in October, like the commentation says that it's gonna be launched in October, but I think that would be a fucking huge mistake, because they are also launching PlayStation VR in October. So how can they dupe the people on buying 2 fucking hardware like systems in 1 month? Let's say 400 for the PS4K and then 400 for another PSVR. That would be insane. Nobody's gonna shell out that much money unless it's an extremely hardcore gamers that we're talking about. So this is a really, really weird situation here, like really, really weird situation. I think that we're expecting to see this announced at TGS. Quietly, it will stay somewhere in the shadows after the announcement, and then I think somewhere around March next year we're gonna actually see that. We also know that the Xbox is planning to release 2 new Xboxes. One is gonna be just a slimmer version of the current one, and then the one codenamed Scorpio is coming out somewhere around next year. Now this is a bit worrying for me, and probably for Sony as well, as they should be, if the PS4K is only gonna be slightly more powerful than the original PlayStation 4. The Scorpio, according to the rumors, is going to be about 3 times more powerful than the PlayStation 4K, and this is going to fuck up the whole console cycle, I think. Then there's going to be one after the other one releasing newer consoles to keep up, because what if everybody will start making games for the Scorpio, right? Because they can fulfill their ambition and imagination with so much power and the support for Oculus VR, and then that shit is not going to run on the PlayStation 4 Neo, or it will run really poorly. Then what happens to the people who own the original PlayStation 4? They're going to be fucked, and I can tell you that. It's not long until the games start running like shit on the proper old PlayStation 4, which I also have sitting here. You gotta love the comments as well on the internet. One of the best comments I've seen is this one. It comes from the guy Toast, and it says, "Can't wait to play future releases at 25 FPS at 900p on my Peasant Edition PS4." That's probably one of the most funniest things I've ever heard today. So yeah, I think expect this thing to be announced around TGS, and also expect it to come out sometime next year, and probably not this year. If they're gonna be that crazy to actually fucking release this thing in October or November or something like that, they're gonna have a really hard time trying to explain people, trying to sell it to people, trying to make it work somehow, because it's gonna backfire. You know that it's gonna backfire at some point, and maybe they'll backtrack on their decision, and hopefully that's not gonna be one of those fucking nails in the coffin for PlayStation. As a company, they are profitable right now, but as a whole, Sony is just starting to marginally pull out from losing the fucking money. So please don't fuck it up, PlayStation. I mean, we still need you, otherwise we're all gonna be gaming on the PCs soon anyway. So there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll get back to you with the next show very soon. Take care.